And we're live with AirPlay 2020.
Welcome to AirPlay 2020. Welcoming back our cast from last week. Zoe Anastasio.
Hello.
Katherine Elliot.
Hi.
Carrie Wesolowski.
Hi.
Behind the scenes, Byron C. Saunders. Hey, Byron.
And then accounted for.
Without further ado, we're going to do part 2 of Brian McAvera's Three Women Various. Christy, you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Welcome back to Act 2 of Brian McAvera's Three Women Various. It's a play about three women who have been friends since school days and who each exist in three parallel but distinct universes. To read more about our actors, please visit our website.
So, what do women want? Sex or sensuality? Friendship or love? Now imagine three women, all of whom have been friends since school days. Further imagine that each of these three women exist in three separate but parallel universes. In each universe, any given woman retains her basic emotional baggage, but the circumstances of her life, in terms of job, partner, culture, decisions taken, and so on, will have changed her. Think of how the slippage between one universe and another. Maybe it's the life that any of the women daydream about as they do the ironing or sit at their desk at work. Maybe it's the life that they visit in their sleep, in their dreams. Or maybe it actually is happening in another universe, or can be made to happen if only one wants it enough. All those unsatisfied elements in one's life, that feeling that an incident has happened before, that you visited a place before, even though this is the first time you've been there, that sense of waste in your life. But of course, there are some times that is positive, the friendship and camaraderie that can make a life worth living. This is a play for three actresses. Each actress plays three versions of the one character, each version somewhat different from the other. Each character exists in a separate but parallel universe, much like their own, yet different. Each actress also plays a character in an excerpt from a film in two of the three universes. The character is usually a son or a daughter. The characters are Amelia, Universe 1, who also plays Abby in Universe 2, who also plays Anne in Universe 3. Kate in Universe 1 also plays Kathy in Universe 2, who also plays Katherine in Universe 3. Diana in Universe 1 also plays Dee Dee in Universe 2, who also plays Dolores in Universe 3. Imagine the stage as a substantial semicircle divided into three segments and color-coded. Each segment is a different but parallel universe, much like our own, but with subtle differences. The lighting atmospheres, the sounds, even that of bird calls on a summer's day, all mutate and morph. The characters in each world are fundamentally the same, but their choices, contexts, and opportunities have changed from one world to another. The frontal horizontal strip of the stage is unlocalized, an area of slippage between one world and another, a half world, if you like, of dream, hallucination, and out-of-body experience. There is a curved cyclorama at the back of the stage. In the play, every scene or part of a scene is played 3 times, one in each universe. The dialogue often remains the same, but the pressure under which it is put, that is, the context of any given universe, is obviously different. Another audience element, in terms of dramatic irony, that which the audience know after any given scene is run for the first time, is its awareness of the differences between replayed versions of scenes. How even slight dialogue changes can make huge differences, not only to our understanding of any given universe, but also to the trajectory of the character. Three Women Various. Act 2. A soft musical buzz like that of cicadas on a summer day, as the major lighting state of universe one glistens onto the stage. A soft, fuzzy light, like the down on a peach. We discover a room in Diana's imposing mansion.
She's late.
She's always late. She's a housewife.
Still bankrolling that interminable movie? How long is it now? 3 years? 4?
Well, it'll be finished someday. Want to see the latest?
If you insist.
Thought you would.
What? God, your own bloody cinema? When did you get this installed?
This week. I know. What money can buy.
3 images have flared onto the cyclorama, all heads and shoulders side by side. Image 1 on the left might remind one of Amelia, assuming that she had a son. Image 2 could be a son of Katie's. Image 3 could be a son of Diana's. All of the young men are in their early 20s and reek of ripe masculinity. They dominate the cyclorama. Image 3, head in profile, seems to bypass image 2 to gaze at image 1.
Gosh, he looks a bit like me.
Sorry I'm late. Homework crisis. Hey, he looks a bit like me.
Should I believe the pair of you? Then he looks a bit like me.
Home movies. In style. Must have cost a pocket. Think I'll move in. Is that movie the one you've been financing for yonks, Diana?
So it would seem.
Is it finished?
No chance. Then the money would cease.
Cynic.
Realist.
It amuses me. So there. Now, shall I show it or not, children?
They both nod. Lighting change. The images remain on the cyclorama. The 3 women, Amelia, Kate, and Diana, step into the unlocalized space and act out the film. The light is hard-edged, cold, with pools of deep, shadowy blacks. Amelia plays Richard, who is American. Kate plays Peter, who is English. And Diana plays Gunther, who is East German. The soundtrack has elements of Wagner and Webern in its ripe musical motifs, which are used to stitch together the scenes in the movie. Kate, Peter, is lying on his belly, reading and observing the passing talent. Diana, Gunther, who is composing music in his head, strolls by. There's a yell in the distance as Amelia, Richard, shouts Gunther's name and comes running over, excitedly grabbing Gunther's arm.
Will you come into the party or no, Gunther?
Richard, get off my back. No.
Gunther? For the love of Mike. You're always so morose, Gunther. Okay, tell me you don't like me. Go on, tell me.
You know I do.
Then go with me to the party. I don't want to go with anyone else.
I hate parties.
Do you like me?
Yeah. I really like you.
Peter is watching Richard throughout. Change of lighting and musical motif. It's a little warmer, but still shadowy. Peter is talking to Gunther, and they are in a quiet bar, and Gunther is a little pissed.
He's nice, Richard, isn't he?
Not good at talking to girls.
You just let me do the talking, okay? Why don't you come round to my place for coffee? You can practice your English, and I'll tell you all about girls. Say at 8.
Gunther nods. Swift lighting change. It's warmer still and change of musical motif. Richard is sitting cross-legged on a cushion.
Gunther was supposed to be here for 7, wasn't he?
Oh, he probably just got delayed. You know, men like him, they're never on time. Never dependable. I like your hair. He's nice, Gunther, isn't he? Soft, warm.
And gentle. Never so much as raises his voice. Kind.
Just like us.
Like us.
Just imagine a world without men. Help!
No sex.
Peter leans over. cups a hand around the face of a slightly startled Richard and stares at him quizzically.
No problem.
He slowly leans forward and kisses Richard full on the lips, pulls back to observe the effect. Richard doesn't quite know what to make of it. Peter leans forward and kisses him full on the mouth again, longer this time. His arms cup around Richard as he pushes him back onto his back, stroking him as Richard fumbles, uncertain how to handle it. Attracted, guilty, curious. As Peter's hand slides down the back of his trousers, Gunther enters. He stands, stunned, appalled, a little excited. They turn to look at him. Peter triumphantly, his hand still caressing Richard's bum. Richard, aroused but guilty, is aware of how devastating this may be for Gunther. Slow crossfade to the previous Universe 1, lighting, state, and sound state.
That is a bit rude. I suppose it's an art film you're making.
Plenty there for the psychiatrist chair.
Did you like the music? Young friend of mine. It's good, isn't he?
No.
Oh. Well, did you like the last scene?
I like the music.
Thank you, Amelia. At least two of us have taste. The last scene.
What of it? Gay sex, lessons in shafting and betrayal. Pretty standard, I would have thought. You should see the stuff we confiscate on the job. Now they're about real sex, not sublimated narcissistic stuff like that.
But you didn't think it was tender?
Yes.
Not tender, but it's low-grade eroticism, innocence and experience, seduction of the half-innocent, the class war between male and male.
Are you saying this was low-grade porn?
You've never actually seen any serious porn, have you, Amelia? No, it's just crap.
Drink, anyone?
Slow crossfade to a variation upon the major lighting state of Universe 2, with its musical pattern reminiscent of Paris, yet oddly different. We are in another Parisian cafe, though this one is much farther away from the Ile de la Cygne. On the cyclorama, there is a semicircle of chestnut trees with the chestnuts ripening and occasionally falling in the gentle breeze. Dead center is a large public sculpture depicting allegorical figures, Poseidon, large-breasted and buttocked females like Amazons, etc. The cafe, for it is on the rim of a circular Parisian place, has a semi-circular frontage which has been opened to the sunshine. Abby, now in a very specifically feminine dress, is almost demure, sitting down behind a table sipping at an aperitif. Kathy, who seems to have smartened up since we last saw her, is playing a game of chess with Dee Dee. She still wears her clothes as if constantly being aware of them.
I don't know why you introduced me to chess, Dee Dee, seeing as you're not very good at it.
Ha! We'll see about that.
I take your knight. Thank you. Well, first of all, you insist on taking me shopping. I mean, his clothes are characterful, I have to admit that. Then you purchase a chess set? Anyone would think you were trying to change me for,
Just squabbling, children. It's a beautiful day. The leaves of the chestnut trees are turning to burnished gold. The fruits of the chestnut are slicing open, disgorging their plunder. And copper-colored young men are lazing in the sun.
Very poetical. Oh, queen. Nope, knight to queen's pawn 4. I take your rook.
Are you sure you never played this game before?
I just had a very good teacher. Why did you want to come out here to Nation?
It's restful. I used to live here a long time ago, before I was married. I always liked the circularity of it all. Love the sense that all human life would somehow make its way into and out of this endlessly changing, endlessly circling dance of vehicles and concentric roads and endlessly circling people.
Circling. That's odd. I have this dream. Now, I know it's not my dream, it's somebody else's dream, but they're broadcasting it on the Dream Channel. And I'm tuning in, so I watch and listen and wonder. I'm in a circular room. with a circular table and this high ceiling with a circular ceiling rose. Hanging down from the rose is a
chandelier painted in white. There are gilded mirrors with elegantly curly-cued settings, a large marble fireplace, and
ancient prints of urns and flowers in the midst of fine furniture in
marquetry, the sheen of walnut, of black ebony, the crisp gold contrast of curved handles against the vertical. And I look out the window on the left, and
it's fine houses in yellow-grey sandstone, as precise and tooled as a chair by my Henry. Tall windows, 12 panes in each, tall chimneys.
With 9 chimney pots. And in the distance, strange columned monuments, like the remnants of some strange civilization. Look out the other window, and it's
a view far down a long winding street. On the left is the rustle of a strong, faraway stream, far below. The street's lined with tall, spreading trees, and the air is thick with tranquility. And as I pull my head back through the window, the room seems to change.
Stays circular.
But the space changes, elongates, curves in on itself.
Bookshelves appear, high up, with books in strange languages and a dictionary for each language. Music discs stacked like ziggurats emerge into vision. Sunshine streams through the windows like honey, illuminating the tall leafy plants in a golden glow. And he's there, on the couch, naked and nude, the muscles on his back flexing to the touch with the precision of fingers on the key of a piano. His head turns and
I fuck him.
I tell him to leave. He looks at me inquiringly, then his outlines blur, and he slowly, regretfully vanishes.
I enjoy my dream.
I'm not too sure about your sense of closure.
Talking of endings, the sun's on the move.
Let me move the chair.
As she does so, we realize that Abby is in a wheelchair, her legs covered with a blanket. She propels herself forward to catch the sun, swivels, and is in profile to us, the audience.
Who'd have thought? Abby, Marinette, Martinette, reduced to this.
Reduced to what? Some self-pitying functionary eaten away by if only or what if?
Kathy. Queen tonight's pawn. I take it.
Well, I'm right, aren't I? She's a strong woman, quite capable of taking her life in her...
I am here. I can partake of this conversation.
Never assumed that you wouldn't.
Really?
Really? So, how is hubby?
Kathy.
Attentive. All I ever wanted. He hoovers. He clears away the coffee cups from the table. He lifts the cushions off the floor. Can't keep his hands off me. Every day when he gets back from work, he's itching to get my clothes off. No weekends away now, unless I'm with him. Sex and excitement and passion and who knows, maybe true love. You see, for him, the best thing that ever happened to him was this. Suddenly he's empowered. He controls and he gets very, very excited, very, very passionate, lustful. All of the things that I had always wanted, always missed, always assumed that I needed. Ironic, isn't it? I become a prisoner and he becomes a free man.
Slow crossfade to the main lighting stage of Universe 3.
Oh, knight to queen's pawn 4. Checkmate.
The cyclorama becomes an obstructed version of the sky at night with vapor trails and deep colors. Magenta, Prussian blues, flaring blacks. We are in the editing studio of Dolores, who is getting herself all dressed up and is very functionally dressed just out of her studio, while Katherine has changed her hairstyle. We can hear the dominant musical motif of this universe pulsing, retreating, pulsing again.
Knight to queen's pawn 4. Check.
Like the new hairstyle, by the way.
Oh.
You know, I can't quite work it out. He tells me I used to be an artist, and what happens? I become a prisoner, and he becomes a free man. Before, when I used to be married, I always liked the circularity of it all, a long time ago. You know, there are times when I think that I used to live here. It's restful.
Why did you want us to meet here tonight?
Are you sure you've never played this game before? Rook to Queen's Pawn 4.
Knight to Queen's Pawn 4. I take your rook.
Bitch.
Very poetical.
The leaves of the chestnut trees have turned to burnished gold. Their fruits are slicing open, disgorging their plunder. And copper-colored young men
Not by any chance like your young man.
are ripening under the night skies. Stop squabbling, children. It's a beautiful night.
Anyone would think you were trying to change me, and if nothing else, I remain consistent.
Most of the time.
Okay, well, the dress was characterful, I have to admit, but you insisted on taking me shopping, and oh, I take your knight, thank you.
We'll see about that.
I don't know why I introduced you to chess, Dolores, seeing as you're not very good at it.
Ironic, isn't it? All of the things I had always wanted, always missed, always assumed that I needed, yet he controls, and he gets very, very excited, very, very passionate.
Aren't you the lucky one?
Lustful. Suddenly, after all these months, he's empowered. Sex and excitement and passion and who knows, yes, true love. You see, the best thing that ever happened to him was me. Every day when he gets back from work, he's itching to get my clothes off. He can't keep his hands off me. He clears away the coffee cups from the table, lifts the cushions off the floor. He even hoovers. All I ever wanted. Attentive. So attentive.
Katherine, you can't do that.
Really? So how is hubby?
She can, really.
I never assumed that you would be interested.
I am here.
She's quite capable of taking her life in her own hands. Why do you think she's making such an effort to look nice? Well, I'm right, aren't I? She's a strong woman.
Katherine. Okay, Queen to Knight's Pawn. I take it.
Well, you're not some self-pitying functionary eaten away by if only or what if.
Oh, reduced to this. You mean? Who'd have thought? But I'm not too sure about your speculations.
Professionally, I don't speculate, I analyze. Personally, however, I enjoy my dreams as well as the professional ones.
In my dreams, he slowly, regretfully vanishes. Same dream every night. He looks at me inquiringly, then his outlines blur. Then I tell him to leave.
In mine, I fuck him.
His head turns. He's there on the couch, naked and nude, the muscles on his back flexing to the touch with the precision of fingers on the keys of a piano. Sunshine streams through the windows like honey, illuminating the tall, leafy plants in a golden glow. Music discs stack like ziggurats emerge into apt vision. Bookshelves appear high, high up, with books in strange languages and a dictionary for each language.
But the space changes, elongates, curves in on itself.
Stay circular.
As I pull my head back through the window, the room seems to change. The air is thick with tranquility. On the left, the rustle of a faraway stream, far, far below. A street filled with tall, spreading trees.
I look out of the other window, and in the distance, strange columned monuments like the remnants of some ancient civilization. 9 chimney pots.
Don't tell me. Tall windows, 12 panes in each, naturally. Tall chimneys, naturally. Fine houses in yellow-grey sandstone, naturally.
As I look out of the window on the left, it seems to mirror the room to me. The sheen of walnut, of black ebony, the crisp gold contrast of curved handles against the vertical. Inlaid marquetry.
Ancient prints of urns and flowers in the midst of fine furniture.
Gilded mirrors with elegantly curlicued settings. A large marble fireplace, a wooden chandelier in white.
Hanging down from a white rose.
Yes.
Well, I'm in a circular room with a circular table and a high ceiling. It's somebody else's dream, doubtless yours, but it's being broadcast on the Dream channel. So I'm tuning in and dropping out, watching, listening. I know it's not my dream, but I do have this dream. It's odd. Professionally speaking.
No, it's not. I love the sense that all human life will somehow make its way into and out of this endlessly changing, endlessly circling dance. Stars, constellations, comets, other universes. You know, in some other life, I think I used to live here. It's restful, the circularity of it all.
Why did you want us all out here, Anne?
I think I'm gonna marry him. Me marry? I can't quite believe it.
Does he know?
Not yet. I wanted to tell you first.
My turn to castle.
Are you sure you've never played this game before?
Very poetical.
Stop squabbling, children. The fruits of the chestnut are slicing open.
We'll see about that.
You two are aiming to collect chestnuts.
Do you think I have a chance?
Well, when did you find out?
He asked for a divorce. I didn't even see it coming. Yesterday. Didn't even see it coming.
Checkmate. I don't know why you introduced me to chess, Dolores. You're just not very good at it.
Slow crossfade to the main lighting state of Universe 1. It is late afternoon and we are in Diana's terrace. Amelia has discarded her usual baggy clothes, now appearing slim and almost elegant. Kate is in working clothes, that is, she could blend in wherever she is, while Diana is dressed to the nines. The keynote musical motif of Universe 1, perhaps in another key, slides in and out of the sounds of a late summer's day in this universe.
I don't know why you introduced me to chess, Diana, since you're not very good at it.
We'll see about that.
I take her knight.
Q.
First of all, you insist on taking me shopping. And the clothes do create another me, another character, I have to admit. And then you produce a chess set.
Anyone would think you were trying to change us.
Anyone would.
Beautiful day. Just look at your garden. Spiky chestnut slicing open, burnished brown against the greensward. Looking over the wall down at the neighbor's swimming pool. Copper-colored young men. He's blazing in the sun.
Very poetical. Very, very bronzed. Oh, knight to queen's pawn 4. I take your rook.
Have you ever played this game before?
Why did you want all of us to go out this evening?
To do us all good. Besides, I like treats. I like giving them too.
It's so restful here. You know, sometimes when I'm half dreaming, I think I used to live here. Really, a long time ago, before I was married in some other life. No matter which way I would walk, I'd always end up back where I started. All human life seemed to make its way in and out of this endlessly changing, endlessly circling dance.
Oh, it's odd you should say that. I hope it's not long before we're leaving, Diana. I had to rearrange my shift for this binge, and I'm starving. Anyway, as I was saying, I keep having this dream. Now, I know it's not my dream. It's very definitely someone else's dream. I never gave this dream permission to enter. It just broadcasts itself onto my wavelength. So I watch and listen and wonder why I'm in a circular room with a circular table and a high ceiling with this circular ceiling rose. Hanging down from the rose is a
wooden chandelier painted in white, reflecting itself in a series of gilded mirrors with elegantly curly-cued settings, not to mention a large marble fireplace.
Yes, and lots of old prints of urns and flowers and old furniture.
In marquetry, I'll have you know. The sheen of walnut, of black ebony. I know this dream. Through the window on the left, I can see
big houses in yellow-gray sandstone, tall windows, tall chimneys.
9 chimney pots. And in the far distance, these strange monuments, all columns and cupolas, like Roman remains. I look out of the other window and
there's a long winding street. The rustle of a strong faraway stream as if far, far below. Tall spreading trees lining the way. The air thick with tranquility. And as I pull my head back through the window,
The room seems to change.
it stays circular.
Yet the space changes, elongates, curves in on itself.
Who's being poetic now?
Bookshelves appear, high up, and it's so strange. According to the spines, the plays of Francis Bacon were written by William Shakespeare. Music discs are stacked up like ziggurats. There are dozens and dozens of them by obscure composers like Mozart, and only one by Stamets. Books on minor artists like Rembrandt or Picasso. Nothing on Gerard Dow or Hans Erni. Sunshine streaming through the windows like honey.
Illuminating tall, leafy plants.
And he's there, on the couch, naked and nude, the muscles on his back flexing to the touch. His head turns and...
You fuck him.
No, I do not.
Yes, you do.
I tell him to leave.
True?
He looks at me inquiringly.
Then you fuck him.
This is my dream.
Our dream. You fuck him.
Mm-hmm.
What about my privacy?
You think we want to watch you at it?
It's not unpleasant, though.
I quite enjoy watching.
Sun's on the move, getting chilly.
Ah! Queen tonight's pawn, I take it.
She's such a strong woman.
True. Now, Amelia, about our dream. We think that you should share your young man with us, don't we, Kate?
Well, no, I want him gift wrapped. Then I'll present him to our Kenneth. Now, Amelia, as this is our dream, we can simply take turns. Why should you be the one to have all the fun? How is hubby?
Kate.
Attentive, in a routine kind of way. He hoovers, clears away the coffee cups, lifts cushions off the floor, and every now and then when he comes back from rehearsal, he's itching to get my clothes off. Sex, some excitement, who knows? You see, for him, the best thing that ever happened was me. I looked after the home, the kids. He goes off to enjoy himself at night and pays the bills. I suppose he's in control. Oh, he does his best to let me think I am. Ironic, isn't it? Here I am, and I have become a prisoner. Nice home, nice kids, nice husband, but I don't even own my own dreams. Whereas he is a free man. Oh, deep, 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 deep joy.
Slow crossfade to Universe 2. We are in a Parisian nightclub. There is a strong, hypnotic, minimalist dance beat as an undertow. On the cyclorama, a profusion of equally hypnotic and varyingly colored and pulsed lights are interrupted regularly by brief flashes of half-naked men and half-naked women. Supine eroticism.
She's late.
She's in a wheelchair. Of course she's late.
You still thinking of leaving George? Get yourself something for the night, eh? Lots of good-looking young guys.
Sure. I'll take a look outside.
Kathy takes her drink and checks out the area. Then, as Abby makes an entrance, she gets herself a drink. Kathy and Dee Dee emerge into the unlocalized area. They are lit separately in a dreamlike light and are not aware of each other. An unsettling dissonant hum is now dominant and continues through this unlocalized scene.
It happened.
It was like this. We'd been drinking.
And drinking. Well, Abby was in an odd mood, so we all got, well...
Drunk.
Had a drink taken.
I was drunk. And so was Kathy.
Abby wasn't drunk. Not at all.
Now, Abby... I don't suppose she was.
On the cyclorama, a huge image of a young and oiled man appears, clad only in a jockstrap. Despite the hypnotic rhythm of the music, which now threatens to dominate the dissonant hum, he seems to move slowly, yet logically, in perfect counterpoint to it. A luxurious, dreamy sensuality. Abby is transfixed by the sight. During the following, she moves closer and closer to the image. The music gradually fades back under the dissonant hum.
I said, you could ask him to come and join us.
She didn't seem to hear at first.
Abby, you could ask him to come and join us.
Not an eyelid moved.
You're so morose, I said. Tell me you don't fancy him. Go on.
And then she said,
No, I do.
Then ask him to join us.
He wouldn't come. He's young.
Yes, he will. Anyway, you could pay him. I don't know why I said that.
so she did.
He sat down at our table.
Oiled, bronzed, wearing next to nothing.
He'd a lovely smile.
He took her hand and he said,
You're not good at talking to men, are you? Doesn't matter. I don't talk much myself.
She didn't say a word.
He nodded at a waiter and drinks appeared.
They drank out of the same glass.
You just let me do the talking, he said. And then he kissed her.
He didn't so much kiss her as slide his tongue into her mouth for a very long time.
He was gentle.
Men.
Men.
Just imagine a world without men. Would it be so bad?
What about sex?
That's always the problem. Sex.
I suppose sex might have been a problem for Abby.
He sat very close to her and nibbled at her neck.
I was becoming quite aroused.
Then he took her hand and kissed it and placed it on his chest.
At the start, her hand was on his chest, and then
Stood up, motioned to the waiter,
another round of drinks arrived.
and he wheeled her away. I suppose they were gone for maybe half an hour. I was too drunk to notice, really. And then, smiling, he wheeled her back and left us. I wish I had the nerve. Would serve George right. Sauce for the goose, sauce for the gander.
Are you all right, Abby?
Of course. We talked about the weather, the state of the government, the state of Parisian traffic, and the latest boulevard farce at the Comédie Française. Anything else if you'd like to know?
Was he nice?
In what way? Nice.
You know, in the sack.
If you mean, was he an elegant lover with a precise knowledge of female anatomy, then the answer is yes.
Did you like him?
Yes.
Will you see him again?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't want to.
Why? If
None of your business.
I was thinking of having you all around. Proper celebration. You realize it's 25 years since we all first met each other.
what a good idea. Isn't it, Abby? That's a really good idea. I could make some really sumptuous gâteau, get George to buy the wines. That's something George is good at.
Henry's been making me a table, like the one in the dream. This big round table made of ebony with inlaid marquetry and little circles all around, like little placemats. We'll christen it at the party. You'll come, won't you, Abby? Bring hubby. We'll have a proper night of it. Abby?
Yes. Of course I will. Why wouldn't I?
Well, that's fixed then. How soon, Kathy?
Next week? How about next week? Saturday, say.
Saturday sounds fine. That okay by you, Abby?
Of course, fine.
Great.
I need to go to the ladies.
A long, unbroken chord which gradually tails off as Kathy and Dee Dee enter the unlocalized area. Now the club sound tails off, to be replaced by the dissonant hum which runs through this unlocalized scene.
We took her home shortly afterwards.
She seemed fine.
Seemed fine. Only
She didn't wake up the following morning. Her husband called an ambulance.
it was too late.
Very organized was our Abby. She'd made sure of that.
An entire bottle of sleeping pills. Empty.
How do you swallow an entire bottle of sleeping pills?
Why?
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 Slow fade to universe 3 and its normal lighting state. On the cyclorama, the effect is of a Japanese garden, water, tranquility, except that everything is going in a slow, circular movement. Dolores has dragged out an ancient sofa. Food, Japanese style, has evidently been brought in. And in between the wine, Dolores, with her remote control, is incessantly changing the music as if editing the music to a film in her head.
Why?
Why?
You're the psychiatrist. Okay. Why? Why is he leaving me? It's obvious, I suppose. Never paid him enough attention. Took him for granted. Someone else did pay him attention, though. And he was fed up waiting.
How do you swallow an entire bottle of sleeping pills?
What?
I'm sorry. Sorry, a patient of mine. Hubby left her, so she took the easy way out. Well, it's not so easy. I never could figure out how anyone could swallow an entire bottle of pills.
Are you suggesting I commit suicide?
Not yet.
Oh, thank you.
She was, a very organized woman, just like you. That, of course, is the nutshell. If you're organized, you either have to acquire time for family and friends. You seem to manage quite well on the friends front, or else you have to learn to be more spontaneous on the personal front. Maybe he's leaving you because he recognized that you never really loved him.
Katherine.
I'm her friend as well as her part-time psychiatrist. Consultations are free, and I'm honest. Did you love him?
Maybe?
Doris.
I liked him. He was my friend.
I think the trick is to keep past husbands as friends and acquire new ones as lovers.
Maybe it's too late.
No. You are what you do. You're a film editor. You make dreams.
I interpret them.
And I use them.
Our collective dream.
Of course.
Do you realize it's 25 years since we all first met each other?
Let's celebrate.
You have reason to.
I was thinking of having you all around, a proper celebration.
What a good idea. I'll tell hubby if he wants a divorce, then he has to treat us all and buy the wine. Expensive wine. He knows his vintages.
Seriously expensive wine.
Next Saturday. You know what you've got to do.
I do?
You do. The dream.
You've spent your entire life editing other people's dreams.
I'm not a writer.
You can write the scenario, can't you?
It's all there. The dream.
Besides, the writer's coming tonight.
Eh?
You wanted us to come tonight because you intend introducing your young man to us before you make him propose, correct?
How did you know?
She's a psychiatrist. She reads human behavior.
But he's a newspaper editor.
So what? Script writers are only functionaries. They do what they're told. Dolores tells him the scenario. I will provide an analysis of the dream. He can write the dialogue. Simple. That's how movies used to be made before producers tried to optimize profits. Now, this party.
A big round table made out of ebony with little circles all around like placemats.
Your next installation?
Why ever not? I'm organizing the decor.
Oh, you're doing that for the film as well?
Well, that's fixed then. When's this young man of yours going to arrive?
Anytime now.
Slow cross fade to the lighting state of universe 1. The musical atmosphere is a spare, eerily pretty melodic line of offset by a kind of rhythmic, discordant hum. On the cyclorama is a vast image of an equally vast restaurant with a Baroque-style ambience, pillars, flying putti, and elegant male waiters. It could almost be turn-of-the-century Paris during a World's Fair. Ideally, there should be a series of discordant details, the equivalent of Duchamp's moustache on the Mona Lisa image. Amelia, Kate, and Diana, with Diana at the head, are seated at an imposing triangular wooden table. It is towards the end of the meal. Coffee, percolators, etc. are on the table. Amelia is drinking lots of coffee so as to overcome the effects of an oncoming inebriation.
I had been thinking of having you all around, but how could I match all this?
Why would you need to? It's 25 years since we all first met. That's a long time. Worth celebrating. I've got the money, so why shouldn't I spend it on friends who matter to me?
I suppose I could try making some really sumptuous gatto. Get hubby to unearth his cellar. He never drinks the stuff, just gloats at its market appreciation. Oh, but what about the main course?
Shrew, we remember your last effort. A beautiful, tasted appalling.
Kind of you to remember, Amelia.
If you do the desserts and the wine, I'll do the main course. I'll tell Sean to be useful for a change. He can rehearse with his group, do a special performance at the party just for us, a popular classic. You know, a play by Robert Browning or Tennyson, juicy parts for nice young elocuting girls.
Perfect. How soon, Kate?
Next week. How about next week? Saturday, say?
Saturday sounds fine. Is that okay with you, Amelia?
Of course, fine.
Good?
I need to go to the loo.
Seems a bit on edge, our Amelia.
Just a decade early, that's all.
What is?
The menopause. Booze is the compensation.
Some of us don't even have a husband, Kate.
And some of us can afford as many young men as we want, Diana. Variety is the spice of life.
A good husband makes life worth living. You should know.
Ouch.
How is the philandering bastard?
Philandering. No, I think I'd begin to think that something was wrong if he changed.
Do you want him to?
I don't think it would make any difference, oddly enough. We're talking about the philanderer?
Oh.
It's not sex. Not anymore. I still love him, and I suppose in his own way he still loves me. The house would be empty if he wasn't there, and I'm coming and going at all hours. Maybe it was the job. So, I don't know, it's comfortable. It's not lonely. Better the devil, you know? Oh, I don't know. It keeps me warm in bed at night. On those occasions when we're both in the same bed. Seems reasonable.
He called an ambulance.
Who did?
Oh, for what?
Sean, for me. Thursday, a week ago.
Why?
I hadn't woken up.
Hadn't woken up from what?
Half a bottle of brandy and a bottle of pills.
Sleeping pills.
Yes.
How do you swallow an entire bottle of sleeping pills?
With brandy and with great difficulty.
Would seem to have done you a power of good. At what time did you start ingesting?
About 4 or 5 in the morning, Detective Constable.
Very sensible. And it's Detective Inspector. Thank you very much. I like an organized woman.
Let's celebrate.
My suicide attempt.
Your survival.
Most people use pills. See it all the time.
Thank you, Kate. Nothing like being helpful.
It's a cry for
I know, and so does Amelia. Otherwise, she wouldn't have told us. Next Saturday. You think you can get Sean to organize a little performance for us?
He's been very, very amenable of late.
I'm not surprised. I think I'll bring along the film group, Sean's group, the film group, mix in director, editor, so forth. Should make for an interesting evening. I'm sure Amelia would find the group very interesting. You used to act in school, if I remember correctly, Amelia.
I got better reviews.
Your boyfriend of the period wrote the reviews.
He was unbiased. Besides, Amelia always rabbits on about alternate universes and grains of sand being stamped upon by dinosaurs, that sort of thing. Lots of imagination. She should write.
Edit. I like to know about editing. All those bits of film, bits of tape, little bits of time, little world. That's it, isn't it? It's about time. Not in a straight line, not linear, but folded up, looped, like a Mobius strip.
A what?
Mobius strip, you know, kind of looped in on itself so it's never ending.
Dream time. There is a logic. It's just that we don't see it.
True.
I like that idea. But there's a logic, but we just don't see it. A dream logic. Each little action that we do makes for reaction, consequences.
But the consequences don't have to be inevitable. They can be changed, altered. When Jerry died, I thought, this is it. There's no point going on. There wasn't a day we had been apart in over 16 years. He completed me, and I him. Maybe you don't realize. I was going to take my own life. Had it all worked out. And no, not pills. I intended on something with a distinct note of finality. I worked my way up to it, carefully, alone. No one would be calling. Even made myself a valedictory dinner, set for 2 places, one for me, one for Jerry. I had a Calvados. Jerry was a connoisseur of brandies, and he particularly liked Calvados. I took it with me to the bathroom, filled the bath with hot water, not too hot, just comfortable, undressed, and slipped in. I was oh so comfortable, relaxed, released. I didn't have to worry anymore. All I had to do was... And you know the odd thing? These thoughts kept slipping into my mind. I thought of your kids, Kate, not even in primary school, bringing them presents. I thought of your youngsters, Amelia, how the last time I went over, Sean Jr. had vomited up all over my new designer dress. I thought of Jerry and myself unable to have any. And I thought, I am so lucky. I have friends who have stayed with me longer than Jerry had, who will stay with me, even though Jerry will no longer be there to pour out the wine, make silly jokes, or bring us out to dinner. Friends who will let me grow old with them. Friends who will let me watch their children grow up. Friends who will be there for me. And I realized how selfish I was being, how much of a drama queen I was being, luxuriating, wallowing in self-pity. And I realized that I didn't want the children of my best friends to be asking their parents why their Auntie Diana had committed suicide. By which time the bath had gone cold and I was shivering, and that was that. Now, about this party. No, thank you, and thank you, Kate. I know I'm lucky. I'll always have Jerry inside me. But real love is friendship, growing old together, gracefully or otherwise. Friendship is forever. Besides, what would I do without the gossip? Isn't that right, Kate?
What would you do without the gossip? God help us. You'd be over at my place interrogating Kenneth if I wasn't there, pulling out his fingernails one by one until you extracted every last bit of juicy gossip about who was gazumping who on the property development circuit, or who was humping Who? Who was the latest wine brokering sensation?
A toast to all of us, no matter what universe we happen to inhabit.
To us, no
No
matter what universe we happen to inhabit.
As the light slowly fades on Universe 1, the restaurant image fades on the cyclorama to be replaced during the following by an image of our three characters in Universe 2. This image, in a slow, overlapping dissolve, becomes an image of our three characters in Universe 3, and then, in another overlapping dissolve, becomes an image of our three characters in Universe 1. The music is a haunting melody which has elements of the ballad song from the end of Act 1. Its undertow is a hypnotic, slow rhythm which has a distinct edge of dissonance. This will only become consonant in the song at the end of the play. Unlocalized stage area, a dreamlike light in which each character is clearly separated from the other and does not see the other.
Did you ever feel that you're not alone? That you had been here in this very same situation, at this...
Kathy entering from Universe 2 in a blaze of light. Amelia also says the same lines, but she is barely audible.
Had happened to you before. Maybe not exactly the same situation. Maybe not.
Entering in a haze of light from the Universe 3, both Amelia and Kathy continue to say the lines, but they are only just audible.
Exactly not the same adrenaline charge of feeling. Maybe not in exactly the same designer dress or airbrush jeans.
But
Near.
Enough.
Deja vu.
Now the three separate pools of light slowly bleed into one another.
in some other life, I could flirt, attract, bring pleasure into another man's life.
And some other time, I could be pretty, engaging, even bring pain.
In some other circumstance, I will enjoy the tease. Will enjoy raising the male to a vertical position. Will gently raise the temperature.
The plangent ballad melody from Act 1 snakes in.
In the early morning light, after the velvet black good night, a love appeal, a silver earring in his ear.
We told each other everything. Our beating hearts began to sing. He held my hand in his, and we kissed and kissed and kissed.
And now I live from day to day. I just work and pray. I'll never find his like again. I'll just eat my tender pain.
I smile even in the rain.
I flirt again and again.
I know I'll always feel the pain.
It's a part of life's flirtatious game.
As they sing, they reach out to touch each other's hands, but the hands seem to just miss each other. Now the lights begin to fade until by the last line of the song, we see only three faces, smiling, no longer alone, optimistically looking out into the echoing darkness.
I smile even in the rain.
I know I'll always feel the pain.
So I'll flirt again and again. I'm alive and in the game.
I am alive and in the game.
Finish.